one of the best franchises in the NFC is the Green Bay Packers, who have risen to the cream of the crop since Jordan Love solidified himself as a young star at quarterback. And from him losing his father when he was 14 years old to becoming a perennial MVP candidate,
who's more likely to win MVP? Is it Love or is it Hurts?
I'm going to say Jordan Love. In his first full year of starting, 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, over 4,100 yards. He's the real deal.
And Super Bowl contender this year, these are 10 things you didn't know about Jordan Love. Now, we're going to start off with a little bit of Jordan Love's personal life. Jordan usually keeps most of his family under radar when it comes to social media, but he had to make an exception to announce his recent proposal to his now fiancée, Ronica Stone. Love and Stone didn't have a typical proposal, popping the question at a castle in a small town outside of Florence, Italy. Stone at 6'2" is no stranger to pro sports, and as a professional volleyball player herself, seems to be a great match for Love and his competitiveness. Not to mention also, Stone also comes from an NFL bloodline, with her father Ron Stone winning 2 Super Bowls with the Dallas Cowboys in the 1990s. Moving on to the next one, we're going to talk about Chris Barnes, who is one of Jordan Love's childhood friends, and miraculously the two both made their way into the NFL. Barnes played collegiately for the UCLA Bruins while Love played for the Utah State Aggies. But both players were drafted to the Green Bay Packers, with Barnes making it into the league 1 year earlier in 2020. And even though Barnes now plays for the Arizona Cardinals, Love and Chris host an annual youth football camp in Bakersfield, California. The camp, called Bam Fam, is hosted at Liberty High School, where Barnes and Love both attended as students not too many years ago.
What was a successful camp last year makes its way back to Bakersfield again. NFL players Jordan Love and Chris Barnes hosted their second annual free Bam Fam Foundation football camp.
Now kids come from just down the road and across the United States to get a spot at Bam Fam football camps. It's great to see Love and Barnes giving back to their community and the school that helped them make who they are today, and giving other kids a priceless opportunity that Love and Barnes could have only dreamed of as high school football players. Now, this next one not many people may know, but Jordan Love has a handshake with every single player on the offensive side of the ball. I found this out when it was revealed in an interview with Kay Adams on the Up and Adams podcast, when she noticed Love's unique handshakes for every single player. When asked, Love responded that all of the different handshakes are very complex and take time to memorize with new players.
We got a lot of handshakes, but we practice them every day, so we get good reps at it.
Interestingly though, when Adams asked about a handshake with Romeo Doubs after a big day in practice, Love stated that they don't have one yet.
Show me the Romeo Doubs. What is it?
Me and Rome don't got one.
Whoa.
Me and Rome don't got one.
That's gonna be
It's mostly with a running back.
But with a big season coming up to decide who the true number 1 receiver is in this young Green Bay Packers offense, could that be a sign maybe? Now, for the fourth thing about Jordan Love, let's talk about his diet. Special diets have become pretty popular within the NFL, being popularized more recently by Tom Brady, and are now a staple of players deep in their careers looking to hit a second win. And while Jordan isn't necessarily on a special diet, when asked if he could only eat one food for the remainder of his life, he quickly responded with chicken. You'd expect this to be a pretty niche subject, but it actually comes up in several different interviews with Love, and every time he's talked about how he eats chicken with almost every meal. And hell, while you're here, comment what you think I should eat for the rest of my life. Personally, for me, I think I would eat like pizza or burritos. I mean, you can't go wrong with either one of those, so chicken's not a bad one either. And now, I know we've been talking about some goofy things throughout this video and kind of handshakes and just favorite foods and things like that, but this next one is a much more serious insight that happened to Jordan Love when he was only 14 years old, and it changed his life forever. You see, Jordan Love had a great relationship with his father growing up. Orban Love was a surgeon for the Bakersfield Police Department and was a great supporter of Love's athletic career, even in middle school. Unfortunately, in 2013, Love's father took his own life after a medication change caused a severe change in mood and personality leading up to his death. As you can imagine, this was an incredibly difficult time for Jordan, who considered quitting football at 15 years old. Incredibly though, Love's family rallied together, and Jordan ultimately decided to return to football in his sophomore season at Liberty High School, earning the starting quarterback spot on the JV roster. As a junior in high school, Love took over as the full-time starter, and the rest was history. Many players battle adversity through their childhood. A lot of times it can be the motivating factor that you pull on and draw strength from, but the passing of Orban Love at just 51 years old was truly tragic and left a massive hole in their community. Somehow though, Love was able to persevere, and that is a huge testament to his mental fortitude. But those losses never go away, and Love has been cited designating moments to his his father as well as the rest of his family on several occasions. And I'm sure that even Jordan Love's father would be very proud of all the accomplishments that Love has achieved up until this point. And I'm sure one of the things that he would be most proud of is the new giant contract that Jordan Love just signed. As we all know, Jordan Love finally got his big extension in July, making him the 11th highest paid player in NFL history. Currently, Love's deal is set to span from the upcoming season until 2028, and Jordan is set to make up to $220 million in the process, with $55 million in average yearly salary and over $160 million in total guarantees.
We got a big contract on Friday. Even bigger from an APY standpoint, Jordan Love. He was due to make $10.5 million this year. He gets the 4-year, $55 million new money, $220 million added on to it. It's a $230.5 million contract over 5 years.
No matter where you are coming from, that's an absolutely unfathomable amount of money. But considering Love grew up in Bakersfield, California, one of the most dangerous and poverty-stricken cities in the entire state, that money is going to benefit his family and his community exponentially. It's every kid's dream not only to be a successful NFL player like Jordan is, but also to get that contract and be able to pull your family out of a hard place. Now Jordan can undoubtedly do that, and based on what we know about his attitude and character, I'd be willing to bet a lot of that money is going to go towards many future community efforts in Bakersfield, which is truly something to celebrate. And now that we've talked about a little bit of the money aspects of Jordan Love, I think it's time to talk about some of the on-the-field antics and things that happen there that you may not know a lot about. Jordan is coming off of a huge season where he shocked the entire NFL by leading a young, unsuspecting Green Bay Packers team to not just the playoffs, but a blowout of the Dallas Cowboys in the divisional round.
Love zips it in there, and it's caught for the touchdown, Romeo Doubs. Here's Love, pressure, back foot throw, end zone, it is caught for the touchdown.
Now Jordan has his first playoff victory under his belt, and the Packers are a known contender going into 2024, which makes training a whole lot different. Fair enough, there's been a lot more tape on Jordan Love, especially now that he has played a full season, so a lot more teams are going to know what to be able to do with him. So when many reporters asked what he's been able to try to do this offseason to get better, he answered with trying to get better at pre-snap reads. And as quarterbacks get to Love's stature and have the dynamic nature of Love as an athletic passer with a strong scramble ability, a lot of what happens during the play needs to be instinctual instead of reactionary. With Jordan focusing even more highly on pre-snap reads, that means he's going to know exactly what type of coverage the defense is running and where he wants to go with the ball even before the play begins. Of course, predetermining where the ball is going is not always a great strategy, but understanding what's about to happen and what to do will help Love evolve into an even better passer out of the pocket in 2024. And even though pre-snap reads are still something that Love is working on, they are certainly improved of where he was at when he was a rookie. Obviously, Love didn't start his rookie season, sitting behind Aaron Rodgers, and there's something really interesting about him being on a bench that I want to talk about for the 8th fact of this video. Many have noted that Love has a very similar throwing motion to Aaron Rodgers, specifically with a hop step that Love employs at the end of some of his off-platform throws. This is notable because what most people don't know is that Love actually completely retrained his throwing motion upon being drafted with Green Bay, specifically to mimic that of Aaron Rodgers. He's been on record multiple times describing his first few days in camp of his rookie year, coming into the building believing he had the talent to be a starter, and then watching Rodgers make throws he couldn't even dream of. Sitting behind Rodgers showed Love how much he had yet to learn, and working with the elite coaching staff in Green Bay allowed him to refine his throwing motion, which has allowed him to become one of the most accurate passers in the NFL today. And while it's no secret that Love is extremely talented at football, he's also expressed that he might actually prefer to play pro basketball. Love is a self-proclaimed hooper, and while like CJ Stroud, he may not be able to break down Micah Parsons in the paint, I don't know who could. Now, Love is a fan of the Milwaukee Bucks, supporting the local team near his home in Green Bay, and has been spotted courtside on several occasions. He even joined Giannis's brother on his podcast for an interview. And he's definitely not the first NFL player to want to be an NBA player, but he might actually be one of the best hoopers in the NFL. He's not really given a lot of credit for it, but at 6'4", 220, Love is one of the bigger quarterbacks in the league and has a very similar build to guys like Jamal Murray and even Anthony Edwards. But for the final thing that not many people may know about Jordan Love was his welcome moment to the NFL. As we all know, almost every rookie has one, and Jordan's just so happened to be his first NFL start against the Kansas City Chiefs. After Aaron Rodgers was a short notice scratch due to COVID in the 2021 season, Jordan Love found himself lining up at Arrowhead opposite of Patrick Mahomes.
This one for Lazard. Makes the play. away, touchdown!
As defensive coordinators typically do for young quarterbacks, Steve Spagnuolo didn't want to make the quarterback's life easy. He sent many complex blitzes that are known for stumping even the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And even though Love was only sacked once on that day, he recalled being hit dozens of times and put up a relatively lackluster stat line, going 19 of 34 for 190 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception in the loss.
Love throws, and it is picked!
Green Bay only scored 7 points total in the game despite a gargantuan defensive effort, holding the Chiefs to just 13 points. Of course, this poor performance would spark heated debates about why on earth the Packers did use their first-round pick to draft Jordan Love with Aaron Rodgers still on the roster for the foreseeable future, but in hindsight, they're probably biting their tongue now. But I mean, Jordan Love isn't just an interesting guy with a great story and a kind demeanor. He's a damn good quarterback in the NFL. Love is one of the leading candidates in the MVP race this year, and if he improves off of his first season starting in 2023, where he put up over 4,100 passing yards and 32 touchdowns, it's hard to imagine him not being talked about in the MVP race. I mean, it truly is crazy how fast tides can turn in the NFL, with the Packers rapidly transitioning from rebuild mode to legitimate contenders in the NFC. And while some other quarterbacks spark controversy over contracts, personal issues, and what you have it, Jordan Love is the epitome of a leader on and off the field. So I mean, honestly, what's not to love?